my soul inspired with your perfection and your holy love, flooding my pathway with light from above, and fill all my vision, Savior divine, till with your glory my spirit shall shine, and fill all my vision, that all may see your holy image reflected in me, reflected in me. Good afternoon. My name is Jason Goodson. I'm here with Johnny Taylor, and this is Coffee and Cornbread today, folks.
And guacamole dip and sweet tea and coffee and banana nut bread.
JT's he's killed me today. I walk through the door and I smell fresh made cornbread out of the oven. And I'm like, oh my goodness, because he makes some really good cornbread. And it was real fluffy and light. And then he pulls out the guacamole dip, which is like a vice. I'm a victim to that. And it was really, really good. He did a good job. He's had a great teacher, by the way.
I think it's the only second time I've actually made that.
We did. It was good, man. You did a good job. I really liked it. So we're here again. And it's today, JT, is my birthday. Now,
yes.
This has been a really good birthday, and I've really enjoyed it because a few things have come together. Today I was at the school, and teaching is, it's a new process for me. So while I was at the school today, I end up in two of my classes put together a birthday party without me knowing it. So It was kind of a cool deal. They had to listen to me teach still, but we still got the party down, man. It was good. So I get here today, this afternoon, and JT has brought the spread. My wife brings me lunch today, and I hang out with him out at the school. So
cool.
Yeah, man, it's been good. I've enjoyed it. My girls have been a little bit sick and everything, but after today, yesterday I hung out with my parents, and I want to talk about Dad just for a minute, if we could. Just want to kind of give a update report on my pop. He went in and had his CAT scan done again, and the doctor came back and they put the old CAT scan up in the new one and put them side to side, and Dad, his left side of his lung is completely clear.
Yeah.
The cancer is gone on the left side, and all the nodules that was there. And then he said a third of the right side is gone.
That's cool. I bet he's breathing a lot better.
He's not wheezing. He's not coughing. He's not. I mean, and he's on this drug that they've given him. He qualified for. We talked about that a little bit as well. And one of the things that's really cool is that he ended up being in this 10%, and he took the drug. Well, he had this homeopathic stuff called Cantron that has been taken with it.
Yeah. And
he was laughing because the doctor was like, I've never seen this stuff that he was giving him work as well as it has, and all this kind of stuff. And my dad just on the inside was laughing because he hasn't given away the secret that he's added this homeopathic
thing to
it. And it's really just, it clears up the fungus on the inside of the body.
Yeah.
Which is really a cool thing. And I still don't understand why the people who control all the drugs and do all this stuff won't approve this stuff. And my only thought is
they can't make money off of it
because
it's not a drug.
Because they don't
not
want
a controllable substance.
They don't want, exactly. It's like one of those things where I don't know. It's like so frustrating because tons and tons and tons and tons of people have used this Cantron stuff and have been healed from the cancer that they had on the inside. And so I don't know. It's been kind of it's been kind of a crazy deal. Dad feels really good. He looks good. He's continuing on with his medicine, and they just bought a home out there by us and about to move in out there. And it's been a crazy couple months, but I'm really, talking about being thankful. Just one of those things where when I heard the news that Dad had that good report, and I talked about this a little bit and just wrote out some things, but the joy of the presence of God in that moment, when I heard the good news, it's like one of those things where you hope for a good report. And I've been waiting to hear from him all day.
Yeah.
And, and it just struck me at that moment when I heard that, what? The same God that when I found out Dad had cancer, that kind of struck my heart as like a dagger blow.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, this return of this joy and this good news was the very opposite of that dagger blow, but God was the same through that whole process.
Yeah.
Which was cool to me because we don't ever see God as the same in a process like that because, either God's He's going to take care of us and do it right and get it done, and He's going to be good to us and bless us. And then, but if it doesn't, then He's not been good to us. We've done something wrong. Oh no, I've messed it all up. It's my fault. Well, I could have done something different.
Yeah.
I'm just thanking God that this moment that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And so, and that kind of allowed me to rest this past weekend and enjoy it,
Yeah.
So fun stuff, man. So that was a welcome news. And Kathy's feeling a little better.
That's good.
Yeah, she's starting to come around there. We got something we're trying there. We'll see if that works, and let's continue to move forward. Got some interesting stuff. Probably one of the better Facebook quotes we've heard in a while. And JT, I want you to share that.
Yeah, I laughed pretty hard. Friend of mine on here is like, "Oh my gosh, Jason Bieber's movie is coming out on my birthday." Like, wow, I'm pretty sure the only thing that could be better than that would be being burned alive with my own birthday candles. I love sarcasm, especially when it's set up well.
Oh, well, I got some news for John Cordova, if he's listening. Japan's convict monkey stages daring cage break. Uh-oh. A marauding monkey that terrorized resort towns in central Japan last year by biting nearly 120 people has escaped captivity.
They didn't put it down?
This dude.
I'm like,
apparently not. The city has published an emergency notice. The fugitive monkey, known as Lucky, is a type of macaque that is one of the most common wild mammals in Japan. He must have been a bad dude, man.
I was going to say, and there's one biting a bunch of people, and it's a common animal, and they didn't put it down. Somebody's feeling pretty bad right now. Especially if a thing goes bite somebody else.
Lucky has proved a touch catch in the past, avoiding citywide monkey hunts during his previous 2 biting sprees. You can't make that stuff up. I mean, that's right there.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, my.
I had to share that. I thought it struck me as funny. Here's another thing that strikes me as funny is that the suspect out of Arizona pleads not guilty.
Yeah.
It was somebody else in his body that walked up and started shooting.
Yeah, that's...
I don't get that.
Yeah, I just don't... I could see pleading not guilty due to insanity, but I can't see just pleading not guilty out and out.
Wow, that's just crazy. Wow. Well, anyways.
I guess they wrestled the wrong person to the ground there.
He looked just like him.
Yep.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I tell you what, second thing that's happened today is JT wiped me out. Like, okay, here's the deal. We've, through Facebook, JT has found a way to strike arrows into my heart. It's been one of those, like, this past Thursday night, I'm sitting in my house and The girls are asleep in their bed, and I'm in my office area just weeping, just tears falling off my cheek. And he's sending me these little tidbits of a character named, a fellow named David Ring, who has cerebral palsy. And, man, he showed these I watched these videos, and probably one of the most real moments that I've ever experienced while watching a video of someone. It's happened in the past. It's already happened. I've got it. But God showed up in it still, just kind of shows you the realness of the presence of God, in the midst of what we see is probably not so, not as normal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's one of those things that really just wiped me out across the board.
I'm not going to send you a video that's not any good.
I mean, it was good, man, but I didn't expect to be like weeping at the end of it. I stopped it during the time we sit over here last time because I was like, I can't handle this right now.
Yeah.
So, wow. JT, where do we go? I mean, what's going on? I mean, how do we get to this point in life where where we feel like we're so out of control that nothing's going to happen and we can't? How do we get to this point? How do we get there?
I don't know. I guess it's God. That made me think. I guess I've been on a kick of going back and looking the last couple of weeks. And I guess our podcast last week, we kind of talked about where we see mainstream
going. Right.
And that's kind of depressing to me. So I've been on this kick of looking up things that are good. And there's a quote by Brennan Manning.
Yeah, let's look at this. There's
actually a couple
of quotes we need to look at.
I posted one last night on my Facebook. Now I just posted one just a few minutes ago.
Okay.
And the one last night was what Jesus longs to see in radical disciples is what he saw in little children, a spirit of sheer receptivity, utter dependence, and radical reliance on the power and mercy and grace of God mediated through the Spirit of Christ. That's Brennan Manning saying that. And, we did a podcast, a few weeks ago about Come as a Child?
Yes.
Don't Understand, I think was the name of it.
Yes.
And it's interesting that he said that there. But that fired me up. Just a heart after God, open to whatever God has.
Right.
Dependence upon God no matter what's going on.
Right.
Where is that? Where is it? And then
it's a very rare spot is where it is.
And then if you got the other one up,
I'm looking.
Look on my profile if you're on Facebook. It's my status at the moment. I love Facebook. It's amazing how much stuff you get to share with people that you otherwise wouldn't.
Right. It's a good medium.
Yeah. Lots of encouraging, lots of discouraging stuff I see on it, but, I can kind of ignore that.
Right.
Lots of encouraging stuff out there.
Okay. Johnny writes on here, JT, he writes, letting myself, this is from Brennan Manning, who is quoting from a movie trailer coming up about Rich Mullins.
Yeah, and of course, Brennan Manning was the person who most influenced Rich Mullins in his walk with Christ, I think.
Right. It says here, letting myself be loved by God is the most important reality in my life. It's good. I mean, okay, let's turn this off. We're done. We can go home. See you later.
Yeah. I love that because he didn't say knowing that I'm loved by God.
Right.
He said letting myself be loved by God.
Right.
There's a huge difference in knowing God loves you and letting God love you.
It is, man.
Very few people let God love them.
Right. It's tragic.
It's a sad thing.
Yeah. I know that we've experienced quite a bit we've experienced quite a bit of religiosity in our walk with God.
Yeah.
Over the years. And one of the things that I believe that I mean, we said this about several different things as far as individuals in the church setting and group participation in church setting. But I don't know that I've collectively seen a situation where we have sat there and just let ourselves be loved by God as a group.
No.
And I wonder why that is. Is it too real? Is it too honest? Is it too vulnerable? Is it what is that? And where does that lead us?
It goes back to the child statement. We don't want to be a child. We want to be grown up and have control.
Right.
And so we don't let God love us because we want to earn it.
Mm-hmm.
We want to be, what's a good word here? We want to be deserving. That's a good word.
That word is right on. Yeah, we want to be deserving of it.
Yeah, so the thing we talked about is stuck in my mind all week about Zacchaeus when he came down out of the tree, and first thing he did was started trying to pay for FaceTime with God.
That's right.
And God just said, "Hey, I'm coming to your house to eat."
He didn't tell him. He didn't tell him to go do those things.
He didn't tell him to do anything. He just said, "Come with me. We're going to your house to eat." And first thing Zacchaeus started saying is, "Well, if I've defaulted anybody, and
right,
and all, and that's good stuff. It's not bad things, but hey, man, if I get to go sit down with Jesus and eat a meal, forget about all that stuff till the meal's over with."
Right.
Get to know God first.
Mm-hmm.
Don't try to earn it. And talk about Zacchaeus. Me and Jason were talking last night, sitting and eating. That's where my thoughts go. Just
it automatically.
Yes. That's what my flesh wants to do.
Right.
It wants to feel religious. So first thought, I'm like, okay, got to be nice to be able to have this house here. Well, if you got all this right, then that would happen. No.
I know, and you're right, JT. I just want you guys to know that we don't say these things to beat people up. We say them because we live it.
We live it.
It's like one of those things where we catch ourselves in the midst of being, like I catch myself all the time, and I tell Kathy this at home. I'm going, "That's just gross, Kathy. It's gross." Because I end up blubbering all over myself because of, well, we didn't get to do this, or we don't have this, or we didn't. Yeah. I don't have the opportunities to go out and stand in front of 10,000 people and be able to. And I get all gross and blubbery about that crap, man. Yeah, it's just wrong.
Yeah. Oh, I mean,
it's just wrong.
Where it gets me is like just thinking about something, even something small, like, well, I was trying to think of a good example, but the other day I can't remember what it was about, but and this is what fires me up is I catch it almost
right in the midst of it,
almost instantly. Now it's kind of like getting a word out of your mouth, and it's already far enough you can't pull it back, but it's there, and I'm like. Well, you just get this feeling of like, well, if I was a little more righteous, a little more holy, If I hadn't have done that yesterday, then maybe this would work. And you're like, what the heck am I thinking? This is dependent, like he said, on God's mercy and grace is not dependent upon me. If it's dependent upon me, I'm going to hell. We're just in trouble.
We in trouble, man.
Every second of every day, we're in trouble.
Yeah,
it's lack of faith in the cross, and I'm saying that to me. I don't believe it.
Right.
I don't believe the cross is enough when I do that.
Man,
drives me crazy. But at least,
yeah,
I catch it. Pretty quickly now. I'm sure there's some areas that I don't catch, but most times, the second a thought like it enters my mind, I'm like, flesh, why the heck are you thinking that? It ain't true. It's not true.
Okay. We're sitting at dinner last night again. JT runs this piece of paper off. Now, it fired me up pretty decently because we're sitting there and eating. And by the way, that food over there, pardon me for interrupting here, but gosh, I was pretty impressed.
It was good. It panned above
It's a hole in the wall joint, and walked in, and all of a sudden I was like, golly, this thing looks so different than what it was, and the food tasted really good.
And nice people, too.
Bravo. Okay. From Chapter 1, The Laughter of God, by Walter
C. Lanyon.
C. Lanyon.
You know, I always thought that he was lived like way back in whenever, a long time ago. He died in 1967.
So
he's a modern day type, Brother Lawrence type person.
This is interesting. And this kind of goes along what we're talking about today, because I think this comes back to letting himself be loved by God as well, too. But hearing this whole, because just in these 2 paragraphs here, I'm going to read this to you. I really like it. Deep in my soul, I heard the laughter of God ringing in silvery cadences through the timbers of my being, breaking the human bonds and limitations. As a strong yet gentle wind in the forest sweeps aside the strands of a cobweb, the hard, fast knots that I had tied slipped loose, and the snarls of beliefs broke free. The river of my human life, frozen by 1,001 false ideas and teachings, broke joyously into expression and went bounding into the infinite sea of life, to be lost and found at the same time. Wow. That right there is
good stuff.
Monstrous. He says, one dark cave of fear after another was eliminated by the light of this laughter, and swampy areas of sick thoughts were dried up instantly. Parched sands of hopelessness and futile efforts were drenched by the living water, sucked in, absorbed instantly, like a wave breaks in on the sands. God laughing at me and my puny efforts to make things happen. I remember God laughing at me.
Yeah.
All right. To make things happen, to make a haven appear, to attain to sonship. Not the laugh of derision, but of infinite compassion. And a laughter so deep and sweet, so pure and glorious, that everything in the nature of struggle gave way before it. I'm going to tell you something, man. Holy smokes, man.
It reminds me, it makes me think about if you ever watch a little kid trying to do something that there's no possible way he can do. It's one of the funniest things you'll ever see. You know, he's trying to move something that weighs 5 times what he weighs.
Speaking of, I can
sometimes you'll kind of go help them, and make them think they actually did it and stuff like that. But it's always hilarious.
Man, I tell you what. I think there's a spot, there's a point in our life where we have to face the deep darkness of the soul at some point, and we have to decide at that point and going, man, if I'm going to live here in this deep darkness, can I live here in the moment knowing, can I let myself be loved in this moment?
Yeah. Just
as much as I can when times are really good.
Yeah.
Out of that moment when I'm happiest. Is that the same? There's got to be a decision where that point comes together and unifies itself.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Where it gets to that point where we're not out of consciousness there, even though it feels like we are.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just pipe dreaming there. I have no clue.
Thought I've been thinking today is this about just how we run away. We try to hide from what's in our lives.
Right.
And end up running away from God at the same time. Because these things are God's plan to bring us to where we need to be. But we want to hide from them. We want to ignore them.
Right.
Rather than face up to them and say, okay, is this from God or is this not?
Right. Right.
And basically, if you're his child, whatever you're facing is from him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what it is.
Right.
It's from him.
Right.
I wish we had a way to show that David Ring interview.
Oh, no.
If you need to go out and find on YouTube an interview. It's in 3 parts on YouTube.
Right. He's with James Robinson.
With James Robertson.
Yeah.
With David Ring. It's an interview. Just search David Ring interview and you'll probably find there's 3 parts to it. Just watch that. And this was something there's another video, the one that got Jason the other night
killed me.
Of this guy.
He's at a Gaither vocal band or Gaither vocal hour with you know how all those people get together and sing.
Yeah.
And he happened to be one of the
He
people.
was there and he was talking.
Oh.
And he starts singing. Now he's got cerebral palsy.
This one.
So
Bring some tissue.
in the world
It'll wipe you out.
In the world standards, he can't sing.
No.
But
we'd never put him out in front to lead worship.
You know, I think probably while he was singing, I think it was probably like Stephen. I think Jesus stood up.
Oh, boy. It's killing me. Stop it, JP.
I really do. Because he was really worshiping. He was worshiping Christ and God.
Right.
And it wasn't about escaping anything. It wasn't about trying to set a mood.
Right.
It wasn't about an emotional experience. It was about what was in his heart for God.
Right.
And it was coming out.
Ain't no doubt about that, bro.
Oh, it was coming out. And it was overflowing.
It made the hair on the back of my neck just stand straight up. I mean, it was that real.
And then we watch that interview and he's talking about, there's one spot he gets to, he says, if I had the choice, if God gave me the choice today, that I could have a perfectly okay physical body, or I could have a body with cerebral palsy, I'd take the body with cerebral palsy.
Yeah, boy. Woo.
Because he sees God in the moment.
Right. Right.
He's not trying to get somewhere else to find God. He sees God in the moment.
Yeah.
How many moments do we miss seeing God because we're trying to get to another one where we think he's at?
Can't look beyond ourselves.
Yeah.
Looking beyond this right here.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something, man. Just learning to recognize those moments are pretty huge for us. I think one of the greatest joys that we're going to find in our lives is just being able to taste those moments, and just embrace them. I got a little, I was talking to a friend of ours, Steve Miller, on the phone the other night.
Yeah.
And I was talking to him about how I'm in class at school and I'm teaching a program called Avid, and how this program, its bottom line is about hard work and determination.
Yeah.
Okay. And I got to telling him, I said, sometimes I get sick to my stomach when I say some of those things in class, because if I was up in front of them as a religious setting talking about this, I mean, I'd be throwing up on the inside.
Yeah.
So, and one of the things I have my door at school, and I just realized these things because, I want the kids to be connected as they walk into a room.
Yeah.
And on the top of my wall says, embrace the struggle as you walk in, and they slap it.
Yeah.
I get them to slap it as they walk in, and walking out there's a sign walking out that says, share what you learn.
Yeah.
And so the moment of embracing the struggle of fighting self in the midst of, and getting past our our layers here, just to in that moment taste and experience and letting God love us in the midst of what we're doing.
Yeah.
I think will breed that part of just peeling back the layers like an onion on us, so that these depths, these moments of times of embrace, that we won't miss the enjoyment of presence of people, of God and people, of of God in our home, of God in just in the situations that he's put us in, because he's given us all a unique calling. And he even said, bless somebody today in that video.
Yeah.
We all have he's given us all unique callings. He's also given us unique areas of which we can, influence and just really manifest Christ to people.
Yeah.
Is that what it's all about? Man, I love that. I love being able to, and I'm still working to get to this spot, by the way. I would love, I look at Brennan Manning, he just looks so frail and so weak in that little chair, in that moment, sitting in that chair. You could like reach out and touch him, he'd fall apart, Yeah. He's so brittle looking. But man, when he says that, he's been on this earth, he's got to be close to 90 by now.
I don't know how old he is.
He's been out there a while. But I'm going to tell you something. To hear someone at his age who's experienced all kinds of stuff in life and has gone through the junk, and he is at that moment saying the greatest lesson, the greatest thing is letting God love him. That's a pretty important words of wisdom for us to embrace, and for us to share, and for us to be a part of. And man, I long for that, because I want to sit there in the idea that God's going to love me, and me just letting him be who he is and letting him do that. I can't wait for that moment that I realize, oh, Jason, finally you've got it. You understand it. I get it.
Yeah.
Man, I want
to taste it and live it.
I want to live that, man.
I want to be Job saying, before I'd heard of it.
I've seen it with my eyes.
Yeah, Brennan Manning fought in the Korean War. Was in the Marines. So, yeah, he's pretty old.
That's crazy, man.
It don't say when he was born on here.
Wow.
Pretty interesting.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah, very good stuff. But
let's think about this week. Are we letting God love us
in the moment?
In the moment.
Are we waiting for a better moment that we think he loves us in? Or are we letting him love us where we are in the moment?
We talking about some rest. God. Man.
Because if he's for us, who can be against us?
Woo! That's right, man. God. Good stuff. All right, man. I'm fired up, man. This fires me up, man. I like this, man.
It was a good day all the way around.
Well, thank you to everybody who has posted on Facebook a happy birthday or just a good word of encouragement. Y'all are, and I say this, and I mean it, I've got the best family and I got the best friends in the world who have allowed me to be myself, and I appreciate that. And so thanks for everybody who has commented and just encouraged me today. So thank you.
Have a good week.